Speaking about the Grim Reaper, Crappy, you're like the Grim Crapper? The Crap Reaper? I don't know. You're just a little guy. Come on, Crappy, how about you take us over to the GM reveal and we'll find out who is giving a game out. Dolores Fred, thank you so much for resubscribing. Oh, good. Crappy got away from Dick Tracy. Nobody likes Dick Tracy, okay? Not even Dick Tracy likes Dick Tracy. You know who might, though? Our next GM. I think that's probably slander, though. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like a pirate versus a detective. That would definitely be, a little bit of a frenemy. You know, they're not going to get along too well. Say hello to our GM, the pirate Omega Number. Rawr. Mooer, thanks for resubscribing. Good to have you here. Thank you so much, everybody. I'm excited for today. It's going to be good. I'm like, if I sound a little tired, I'm just trying to make it so that my stomach doesn't hurt too much. And if I sound like I don't have Omega Number in here quite yet, that's because I don't. Where are you, Omega? Omega! That's okay. I'm typing to Omega. I need an Omega Number here. Hello? 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 Omega Number, are you here? I see you, but I can't hear you. Where are you? Come here. You need to talk to me. You need to be saying the words. If you're not saying the words, then I'm not going to hear you. Still not. Well, everybody, Omega Number is currently dealing with probably a giant butt. Yeah, fighting a giant butt. Currently, like, oh, geez, look at that fleshy rump there. Gotta fight it. Gotta punch it. Bam. Hit that butt out of here. Yeah, Omega Number, if you need, go ahead and disconnect and reconnect. You can come back. Maybe it'll work. Hello?
Hey. Hello? Reset? Try?
Yeah, I hear you, yeah.
Okay. Have you tried turning everything off and on again, I guess was the mantra for that one. All right. Hopefully I do have a different setup, but I've got very fancy mixture and stuff, so hopefully we won't have like weird cutouts and anything, so yay. Good.
No, so, you're here. Hi.
How do we feel about Amiga today?
You know, as I said, not yesterday, last weekend, you make an amigo when you give out Amiga. Come on, that's the rule here, you know? You're only making friends when you do that. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, we're not playing the Amiga version because there was a unreleased Genesis version of this particular game that we're going to play that one instead, but still the only version that you could get in a store was an Amiga version. And we are playing Bill's Tomato Game.
Bill's Tomato Game? Oh my gosh, well, everybody's gonna be a tomato and try to make as much progress as they can through Bill's Tomato Game. From what I understand, a fairly linear, yet still a tomato-based video game. Whoever does takes the victory, whoever doesn't will lose, and unfortunately, only get 2 points. And actually, speaking about points, people who do not score at least 9 points by the end of the first 2 games will be eliminated. Do you know if there are going to be any eliminations due to this game?
This is 2 pointers, so yes.
Ooh, 2 people getting eliminated. They'll have to come in at least second if they want to stay in it. Yeah, so they currently have 2 points. Whoever gets second will get an additional 7 points and just barely hit that 9-point threshold that they need. Third and fourth, gone. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at what is happening over here because it looks like we've got Bill's Tomato Game up. I want to make sure that we have the audio working as well. So what's been going on lately? Have anything exciting in your life?
I mean, yeah, I've lots of interesting work things. We'll see how they go down. Yeah, no. Played lots of interesting games lately. And I found this one just this week. It was kind of a surprise to me. It's like, wow, this is very obscure and it's actually really kind of neat. I'm really excited to give this one, especially because it's a puzzle game, which we don't get a lot of in Kusogrand8.
It's true.
I mean, we've got the legendary orb one, but what else?
I mean, yeah, I guess Orb 3D does kind of count as a tomato game. We've given out a few. I mean, if you want to count Pyramid as a puzzle game, although that's more like Tetris-y puzzle. I'm sure we've had a couple Sokoban-like games, but honestly, we tend to go a little bit more the action side of the spectrum. So, yeah, puzzle games, not weird here, but at the same time, a little bit of a surprise. Let me go ahead and check with the players to see if they are ready. Yeah.
As people are putting it in chat, you have it listed as Amiga. So even though this is the released one was Amiga, they're playing the unreleased Genesis version.
Okay. Genesis.
This is a Euro jam, so you can put Mega Drive, I guess, if you want,
Maybe they're playing Butts version. The version of Butts. Huh? Now...
so... Go on.
Oh, no. So they did get... Oh my gosh, just a second. Let me collect my thoughts. Tracking for this game is fairly straightforward. It's going to be the number of levels completed. And other than that, basically, good luck to the players. I think they're almost ready. Let me make sure. I was going to go and check something real quick to make sure that it's on, because I keep forgetting to enable this. Bam. Should be good. Okay. Maybe it's good. Is it good? You working? Nope. That's fine. Whatever. Not like I care. Thank you so much, YouTube. Not YouTube. Thank you so much, whatever website that is. Okay. It looks like all of the players are ready, so it is time for us to do the countdown. What would be good emotes for chat to spam for the countdown?
Well, kind of what you've seen already. Anything food related, basically. If you happen to have a squirrel, it's an evil squirrel that's dropping down. If you can't tell. And I guess it's a kind of a haunted tree, sort of.
Yeah, spam everybody, because as soon as I see movement, I will start our timer. Here we go. Spam your emotes. I love it. And actually, yeah, considering I don't believe we had any accessibility warnings when it comes to flashing stuff in this, is it going to be pretty straightforward that way? No flashing?
Right. Later, depending how far they get, there's psychedelic coloring schemes, but nothing like flashing that goes along with it. It's pretty straightforward in that sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just to explain what's going on right now, they are trying to bounce their tomato from one end to the other end, and they hit one button to cause their tomato to launch, and there we go. We just saw it happen on Festi's screen. It's basically an incredible machine, except with just one thing you're dealing with rather than a whole big variety of things. You're launching your tomato from the start to the end. You could kind of think of it maybe as sort of like Snulf, except you're building the course, possibly a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. I had Dole Wolf test it, and the way I sold it was by saying it was kind of like Snulf. So I'm gonna roll with it.
You said it was kind of like Snulf. I suppose. Okay, it looks like all of the players are learning the basic controls here. Yeah, Maxell was taking a little bit to get through stage one, but there we go. And honestly, you really don't want to spend too much time on the early levels. For a puzzle game, the early levels are usually going to be fairly straightforward, you know. Just find the fastest way to get through them, and then get to the levels where you actually need to do thinking. There's always going to be that point where it's like, wow, this is frustrating.
Yeah, they'll get there. We're about to see, I think. Well, let me see here. Are we going to see a disaster here with the fan? Because usually, like the very first time. Oh, there we go. There goes the tomato. The fans will squish Bill the tomato. So even though the fan will push Bill away, there we go. Now we're seeing that. Yeah, that's on Self-Sagex's screen. You have to be careful not to actually hit Bill with the fan. It took me a while to get that right. Like, for some reason, did not occur to me to put it on the other side of the pipe right there. So if you're seeing it on Kalen's screen, the fan trying to adjust it, but it needs to be sealed away essentially. So I actually was stuck on this screen for a bit longer than you might think for a tutorial level.
Yeah, Kalen tried to do it, but unfortunately the fan is still getting placed a little bit too close. Uh-oh. Kalen, did you just slide through the fan? Well,
I think what happened there, and I did warn them about this, is if you press A, you pick up the item. This was originally a mouse game, remember Amiga. And so the way they're doing it for Genesis is you press A to pick something up, but it will kind of look like it's there, but not actually physically be there if the A button's still holding it. There we go, we got it now. I did get fooled by this a couple times, even after I knew about it. I forgot, oh, my A button is holding it. Why is it my tomato flying through this helpful tool that I'm using? And it's because it was floating in mid-air. There's not a visual indication of that. It could potentially be just because this was a Genesis conversion that wasn't quite released yet. But I mean, this game is essentially done. I don't even know the circumstances why it didn't get released. There's nothing that really indicates it's incomplete to me. You can get through everything, so I'm not sure why. The reason I picked the Genesis one, it kind of is a smidge easier in that if you notice when they're moving things around, it's kind of on a grid. The mouse, you can place things literally on any pixel you want to.
Okay.
And in this, you actually have a little bit of restriction because it when you push left, right, or up, down with an item, it moves like a chunk of space, 8 pixels. And for some puzzles, this ends up making it a lot easier because it restricts, it has to be here. Just the idea of having the unreleased prototype also is kind of fun too. And there's kind of an extra element of Kuso, the fact that it is meant to be a mouse game.
Oh, yeah.
So, there's that little bit of kind of extra spice to it that you have to deal with slightly funky controls as sort of a Kuso classic. So I'm not really feeling bad about picking this version. Just generally, our players have an easier time with the consoles than they do with Amiga, setup wise.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. I mean, and one of our players is a backup. They kind of jumped in last moment and they had to re-download the set, and so it was actually helpful to do the one that's really easy, which is the Genesis game, as opposed to Amiga, which might require more setup. So it worked out that way. So we have now one of the level sets is done.
Okay.
They need to hop their way over to the next arrow. There we go. This is a totally linear game. The tree is the hub essentially, and then each little area has 10 levels, and they're just numbered 1 through 100. So
gotcha. So right now it's pretty clear. Kusogrand8 or Kusogrand8. I don't know how to say your name. Either way, they are currently in the second set of levels. It appears that essentially they're groups of 10 before you get a different tile set. But oh my gosh, the gun!
Yeah, the tile sets get funkier as the game goes on. We'll just leave it at that. I'm hoping we get to some of the really funky ones, because then it'll really make it the right feel. But yeah, I mean, this is more dynamic than Incredible Machine, because you do have these moving items that you have to time. Like normally in Incredible Machine, I don't think in any of the versions do you have something that moves on its own that you have to push the button at the right time. Is that right? I don't remember that ever being a thing.
I don't think it is. Yeah. Okay, well, with that said, right now, everybody, all of the players, making some pretty steady progress, trying to figure out the timing for when to start a level, just so that they can get through some of the tougher areas here. We do have referees who are helping to track the match. Again, it's pretty straightforward, the number of levels completed. The referees for this match are Ketchup Fan X, Marinarashi, oh my gosh, Linkura, Soberdorf's Kuso referee, and Nato Modelecta, oh my gosh, putting tomato in your name, I like it, very, very nice. At this point, Persaga X is currently at level 13, possibly, there are going to be a lot of updates when it comes to how far the players have gotten. Kalen has made it to 10, and the other two have made it to level 9, and it looks like Mexel just got through level 9, moving on to level 10.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely the kind of game where there are going to be hard stops in some of these levels. That's going to start to get pretty difficult. So even though, going faster at the beginning helps, there's going to be time for anybody to catch up at any moment, as long as they can progress fast enough. There are some levels where it can take a while, and also some levels where it can take a while, but you can also get lucky. So those two things combined together mean that somebody could just happen to place their items in the right spot the first time through, and it's not like implausible to do. It's, somebody just sees it, or the physics just happen to go in their favor. Since this is a physics-based game, just there are some weird things that can happen, and there are probably solutions that I have no idea about. Having some trouble climbing the vine. There we go. To the right, needs to find the arrow. Should have seen the arrow. There we go. So we have everybody on the blocks except for Festi, but that's okay. Festi's almost done, it looks like, too. Yep, there we go.
Yeah, let's see.
So what's your thoughts on the music?
The music's fine. It definitely sounds very Amiga. Considering this was an Amiga game to begin with, I'm fine with that. The music apparently was made by Mike Clark, who made songs for some of the Lemmings games. I see Lemmings Pinball there. Let's see, Last Action Hero for Amiga. We've got Bram Stoker's Dracula for Sega CD. Last Ninja 2, back with a vengeance over on Amiga. And yeah, Lemmings 2 for Super Nintendo. I think they did some of the conversions for music. We also have the sound effects for Brian the Lion starring in Rumble in the Jungle, which we've had here in Kusogrand8 before. So it's like, the music is very Amiga style, kind of bouncy and a bit goofy, but at the same time, it's fine. Like, it's dorky.
So it looks like Festi's getting a little bit lost getting to the next level. Festi should see the arrow. It's just a matter of getting to the arrow. Oh, and it's trying to do it the wrong direction. I see. I was wondering if the hub level is going to give anybody trouble. I am not including the hub level in the tracking still. They have to actually make it to the next level for it to count in terms of the timing. So the hub level does not count as a level for the purposes of tracking. They actually have to make it to the next area.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just a hub world, You're just a tomato bouncing in a tree. Got to get to the next area. There we go, Dr. Festi.
So let's talk about these things that they're dropping down here, because they do give them names in the manual. So let me pop this open. Now, this is the Amiga manual, remember, because, again, not released for the Genesis. So we have the Frumulous Fan, the Tomato Trampoline, One important detail it gives that is that if you do a small drop, or you get a small bounce, a medium drop, a medium bounce, and a massive drop is a squashed Terry. So this does have fall damage, so to speak. Jeremy Jack in the Box. Land on Jeremy and he'll throw you into the air. And then the Blocking Box, which is just a box that will block you. It looks very much like an Incredible Machine kind of box.
Literally just a box.
Yep. And there's some other stuff that's not mentioned in the manual, which, I mean, we'll get to when you get to it, and it'll be pretty recognizable. But those are the ones that they at least give straight away in terms of details.
Yeah. As it turns out, there is a story in the Amiga manual as well. We join Terry Tomato squapping, the tomato equivalent of hopping, up and down in anger. Yeah, okay, so Tracy wasn't everybody's idea of the perfect mate to dive into a salad with. So she was a little too saucy with the boys, but that didn't matter. All that was behind her now, because she was Terry's girlfriend and they loved each other. And so Terry set off in hot pursuit to determined to track down the evil squirrel who tomato napped Tracy and squapped up and down on his head to bring him to justice, wherever that may be. He squapped up onto the first branch and was so hassled by a low-flying wasp that he tumbled back down to the ground. Much more of that, he thought, and I'll be puree. And with that thought, we join the game. A furious Terry sizes up the vine and attempts to scale its lower branches. So, Bill's Tomato Game doesn't star Bill. It stars Terry. Terry the Tomato.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes. Terry's one game squash. Yeah, Bill is the name of the person who made the game. And he's actually kind of interesting because this is, he listed as design in the credits in this, and then he's listed as programming on a bunch of games afterwards, including a whole bunch of racing games like Dirt 5 for PlayStation 5. You know, this person's still working, but they stopped designing, it looks like. Called Bill's Tomato Game because it's named after Bill, the programmer.
Yes, Bill Pullen made the game. Also ended up working on Dirt 5, Grid, MotorStorm, various racing games. But we've also got things like The Empire Strikes Back for Atari ST. Oh no, is it? Okay, it's not the one that I was thinking of. It's probably still not good, but yeah, that doesn't look good, but whatever.
Which one are you thinking of?
Well, I mean, there is the Atari Empire Strikes Back game that essentially is, how does it work? Where you just fly around horizontally and you have to tie ropes around the different walkers' legs. Yeah, that game's a bit of a nightmare to play.
Incidentally, we have what I think is the first hard stop in the game, because we got 3 of the players are on the same level, level 17, which has this marching toy soldier, and they're having trouble figuring out the best way to get by.
Yeah, understandable. I do like that it doesn't give you one strict way to get through the level, but at the same time, like, yeah, Persaga X has managed to get past the soldier once, but unfortunately he doesn't have enough tools to actually make a solid amount of progress here. Oof. Okay. Yeah, when you have limited tools here, you gotta figure out the best way. Oh! If you use all of your tools early on, you're not going to have enough to actually finish the stage, though. It gets a little difficult.
It does feel like we're starting to hit so, I mean, this is sort of, even though I would still consider this a pure puzzle game, this does have a bit of action puzzler just because the timing matters so much. In terms of, like, when you launch that tomato, it matters, like, if you hit the soldier, and though I don't know if there's a solution where you could get by without really worrying about the position of the soldier, but for what I remember from solving, you actually have to time it pretty exactly. Like, yeah, what you want is the right configuration, and then when you finish, you have to push the button at the right time to get by. So there's a couple things to be worrying about there.
Gotcha. So I do have to wonder as well, because like it appears that there's a limited number of lives, but that I've never really seen when they decrease down at the bottom. Like how does the life system work in this?
You run out of time.
Okay, if you run out of time, you lose a life.
Correct. Does not matter too much in these earlier levels. I'm not really expecting people to have an issue. But I do expect some kind of issue. There's some later ones where the time is a little tighter. So in that case, I could see it being more of. It's kind of like how Lemmings, I think, is designed a little bit. Like, I don't recall Lemmings having super tight timing in the earlier levels, but then some of the later ones, the timer is actually part of the element. Like, you normally could do a certain solution. Oh, that was very close on Max Sales the screen right there. I feel like there's probably a slight adjustment that will make it work. Oh my goodness.
Time out though, gonna have to reset everything. And let me tell you, a timer for a puzzle game that resets everything that you put down is stupid. Okay, I'm gonna say that's not good puzzle game design. But back in the 80s and 90s, pretty much every game had timers. You know, it was just standard. It's one of those design things that it took people a long time to figure out that maybe this isn't the best thing for us to have in a puzzle game. I do want people to know, by the way, Wolf has pointed out that yes, you do have a limited number of tomatoes. It's shown on the bottom left by the stop go symbol, or by the stoplight, whatever you want to call it, the traffic signal. And if you use all of those, then oh, Maxell, I think, hit the corner of a platform, and that was enough to die. Yeah, Maxell is just dealing with the fact that you have to figure out a way to get up at the very end. Yeah, it's not really too much of a concern to use all of your tomatoes, because your time is a lot stricter than the tomato count. Like, if you just spam summon your tomato over and over and over again, then you probably could run out of them, but it would actually be pretty impressive. Prasaga has managed to get through what you called the first wall of the game and is now into the nightmare realm. Uh-oh. What is this?
Yeah, one of the big keys of this also is you need to. The fans are actually maybe the most important item in the game, and it does look like Kalen actually might have the right idea too, kind of. But you need to actually have the fans spread out among what you're doing. So like Maxell's, what Maxell is doing by having both fans right at the start, I don't think it may not be possible to get through. I can't confirm that, but this feels very wrong to me based on my experience with it. You need to spread out the fans a bit along the path, as it actually ends up being really powerful, because it can arbitrarily move your tomato at any point in the game. And also now we're discovering the fall damage issue here on I still can't pronounce the name
Prasaga.
either.
Yeah. Okay, so fall damage is a thing for tomato. Well, that makes sense, you know? Honestly, though, underripe tomatoes really do not break apart, and like, you're not gonna have a good splatty tomato unless it's a little bit rotten. If it's a little bit rotten, then holy crap, they will explode.
Dr. Festi's configuration, I think if the second fan was placed correctly, might work. We'll see though. Yeah, Maxell's doing one of the classic puzzle game racing problems, which is you get really fixated on like this element has to be this way, and that can be death when you're racing a puzzle game. It's the reason why you get stuck a really long time if you're racing a puzzle game. I think it has to be done this way. I think almost you were talking about it being kind of rude to reset the positions of everything on the death. Maybe it might help to have somebody kind of think through it a little more. Like, oh, wait a minute, I don't actually have to do it the way I'm doing it. I could maybe just use one fan right now and save the other fan for later.
Whoa, Persaga! Very nice. I love that. Honestly, a very creative solution to get through it. Yeah, the thing is, like, at first I was complaining that, there's a timer and you know, puzzle games don't need a timer, but at the same time, it does reset the level and remove all the pieces, which means that it might actually give you incentive to try something different. Dang, for the sake of a race, I actually kind of like that it removes everything.
Let's see here. Dolph has an interesting comment about blocking the soldier. I did not block the soldier. I didn't actually even think about that as a thing. And I don't think that was on Persaga's solution. I think it was just a straight up timing the jump correctly. So
yeah, I haven't seen anybody block the soldier yet.
Place an item. Oh, you mean like place it where? Yeah, no, place it where the soldier is marching, because sometimes the soldier won't be there. Is that what you mean?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Essentially, you have to time everything with the soldier. The soldier might walk through the path of where your item is, but that's fine because your item doesn't exist when it comes to the soldier. The soldier will just walk straight through it, and that's fine. Oh, geez.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like Persaga is on to the next set of levels. He has a very solid lead at this point.
The soldier will delete the. Oh yeah, you can have like a weird thing where you actually have to time it. It's not necessarily this level because again, I didn't do it the way Dolph is describing. I did it more or less.
Oh, Maxell's so close.
I did it with, oh yeah, that feels like there's probably just a configuration that will make it work. I think, oh yeah, I think you're right. Maxell, I think, has the right idea. And also the fact that it disappears with the soldier, I think, has finally struck too.
Yeah, honestly, like they're still like you gotta get Bob. Like the very top trampoline here is a little bit too high. I would move it more to the right, a little down right, not to the left. The left is just gonna make Bob like not quite get the jump that he needs. Okay, let's see about this. Maxell is almost out of time, as is Dr. Festi. Luckily, the game does have codes and passwords and such, and as far as I'm aware, they are allowed to use those.
Yep, absolutely. I told them they could even take screenshots as whenever they got to a new level. It's completely
No, Maxell, no. No, please reset.
Maxell, not write down the...
Hey, sometimes we have people lose via password boss. I bet that he's probably trying to type in Discord or something, not resetting. Okay, that's the right thing to do. Good. And it looks like everybody has written down the password, so very nice. No loss by password boss yet. Okay. Kaylin trying something Clever, unfortunately, it didn't quite work. That's fine. She does still have some more attempts here. Mixael and Dr. Festi gonna have to work to try to catch back up to that level. Honestly, it's not too hard. Just complete a couple levels that you've already done. You probably already know the solutions. As long as you haven't forgotten how the game works, it should be fine. And there we go. Mixael is caught back up. Ooh, Persaga, very nice fling. Absolutely perfect.
Somebody asked, is this kind of like the Incredible Machine? That's Automatic Frenzy in chat. Yeah, this is basically Incredible Machine, except without like a whole bunch of different objectives. There is one objective, and that is to get Terry the tomato to the exit. And Terry will always fling at the same angle to start with, and so you just need to place down the objects and also time the fling correctly. Yeah, just a matter of placing the items in the correct place and timing it out, and dealing with the fact that the Genesis is not the optimal way to control this necessarily. It can be a little finicky. The main finicky thing about the Genesis part isn't really necessarily the fact that like you're kind of pretending to be a mouse, but the bits where something will need to be timed placement. Like you're not placing it yet because of a moving soldier or whatever. Like it can crush the platform. But it's rather a matter of sometimes you need to pick something up and then drop it again as part of the process. So normally in Incredible Machine, you can't actually modify the course after you built it. It's you build it, you push the button, and then you wait for it to happen. This, because you can modify it in the middle, there's a bit of action stuff, but like it would go better with a mouse on this, honestly.
Okay. You know, I actually... Okay, like, here are my thoughts about this game. Obviously, on Amiga, the game ended up being, like, working out pretty okay. It was mouse-controlled rather than D-pad controlled, which would make it a little bit easier to deal with. At the same time, the game, like, for Genesis, it runs pretty well. Like, I'd say as a conversion to Genesis, this is a pretty faithful, pretty good one. Not perfect, but honestly, I kind of dig this. Oh no, Persog, so close. Oh, your tomato is almost in. Just gotta lower that platform, I think, a little bit. Yeah. Nope, too late. Wait, you only have 29 seconds? What? Okay, never mind. This game has some critical flaws that I'm gonna point out right now. 29 seconds, not enough seconds.
Yeah, no, I did warn about that later, that it does tend to, and Maxale is hitting the bit with an extra boost of fan would really help. I think part of the deal is, I can't confirm this absolutely because I haven't played that much with the physics. There's a maximum speed that Terry can go, and having two fans doesn't really.
There we go. Maxell is through. No, the double fan worked.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, that was just finicky. Okay. But yeah, quite often, because you kind of want to, the thing that adds the extra horizontal is the extra fan. So it doesn't get helped that much by having a double fan, but it did work there. So that makes second place now, because our other players are stuck on that same level.
Yep, and I think this level will go pretty quickly for Mexel. Remember, everybody, first and second are the placements that count the most for this. The other two players are eliminated from Kusogrand8. No more bad games for you! Which honestly is a blessing as much as it is a curse. Okay, Mixel just trying to get this level. It honestly is not the most complicated level, just gotta go. Uh-oh. Yeah, and it looks like these bouncing... I don't know what they are. They look like eyeballs from, like, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Also, Persagax's level, I do not even remember. I don't remember what you're supposed to do here at all. But I think it's just a matter of fan placement, and try not to kill yourself with the fans as you're doing it.
I think you're supposed to suffer. That's my bet. And there we go! Persaga is through! Do-do-do. Oh my gosh. This music is a little too cheery for... I don't know. For a Saturday... No, Saturdays can be this cheery. You're allowed to be this happy. It's fine. Okay. And let's see if this setup works.
The little bouncy thing on Maxell's thing has no name, but it seems like it should have a name. You want to give it a name? What do you want to call that? The bouncy ball with
thing?
eyes.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Why do I have to name things I don't like?
So you know, we know what to avoid. So we can make the PSA about beware of bouncy balls with eyes that look menacing.
Gil. His name is Gil. I just like... Yeah, I've never met anybody named Gil who wasn't a little bit weird. Or a giant bouncy ball. Yeah.
Is that a Utah thing? Are there more people named Gil in Utah?
Okay, I've met one person named Gil. They were fine. Honestly, but I feel bad for anybody named Gil. Like, who goes and looks at a baby and is like, that's a Gil. That's a Gil right there.
Well, I mean, they might have figured it out beforehand, Gil, but that does almost seem in a way like even worse. I don't know. Let's see here. We're trying to get to the next set of levels. Perfect. Okay, we are in Spooky Land.
I think Maxell is just like trying to figure out how this fall damage works, because it's definitely fall damage. Scary Land! Yeah, Persaga is so far ahead. I doubt that he has any chance to come in any place other than first, which is great. That means that we have a race between second, third, and fourth, and Maxell definitely has the advantage going into this. However, he needs to learn that this is fall damage and not fake damage. It's real. Fall damage is real, everybody. Did you know that?
I don't actually remember spending a lot of time on the fall damage one either, so I don't know, or have any specific advice to give off the top of my head for this. It seems like there's a lot of ways you could do this one too. That you need to have an intermediate point.
Yeah, the thing is, the game gives you tools for a reason. And most of the time, if you have a new tool and you're not using it, then that's probably wrong. The new tool that you're given in here is just a block, or various blocks. So, like, you gotta think, okay, these blocks are here for a reason. What is the reason I have these blocks? What am I doing with them?
Almost there. We're actually we're kind of doing the right thing. Scoot that block over until there's a safe landing.
Okay, there we go.
Intermediate landing. Yeah, just move that one down a bit. Yeah, like make a step stair. There we go. That should do it, I think. Except just launch it right. This game does have. I mean, it's not a perfect game in the sense that, like, Incredible Machine is kind of well behaved, I guess is the way to put it. Like, you do not run into that much a situation where you're just kind of guessing what's going to happen with something. You have I mean, how much of Incredible Machine have you played in the past?
Me?
Like, how familiar?
I don't think I've played any of it. No,
Okay,
a tiny bit. A little tiny bit, yeah.
Just for anyone who isn't familiar with that original game, so that game is you have some situation like get the chicken into the box, and you have a bunch of tools and you place them down, and then you get the event started, and then you don't get to touch anything else afterwards. It just everything happens on its own. It's automatic. So it's based on like Rube Goldberg machines. Right?
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I mean, there is some physics jank where you can kind of make something happen by accident in that game. But usually I never like had a situation where like I was totally not sure what was going to happen with something. With this, it's like, I don't know.
Excel, no, that was so close.
Yeah, it was. With this game, I don't know until I try like what the exact effect of the fan, like how far is that fan going to blow me, is very ambiguous in this game. And it makes it so I'm... You know,
Kalen's got this. Kalen's got it. Yeah. Very good job, Tomato. Yeah, it's understandable that this game it does seem a little bit more like easy to understand what the game wants you to do or how the different pieces function. It's not like you don't have super weird objects like, yeah, the fan is going to push you to the right. Okay, I got that. Yeah. Interacting between the different mechanisms here doesn't really happen too much yet. And so I'd definitely say that, like, it's not the most sophisticated game in the world, but it's cute and kind of fun. Like, yeah, for Amiga, I'd say this was probably a pretty decent game. However, like for Genesis, even like, you're right. This is a little bit surprising that it never actually got an official release and just, you know, this is a prototype that we're watching here because it's basically finished.
Oh yeah, no, there are surely. I mean, I've seen other games where it's a prototype that's finished, but yeah, it does seem very odd to me that I do not know the circumstances, what exactly happened there. It may just be that by the time it was done, they decided there wasn't enough market. But I mean, Mega Drive was pretty big in Europe, though. I mean, it did last longer and a while longer than like in the U.S. So I've been talking over the fact that Mexel got through, so that's good.
Yeah. What about Dr. Festi? Dr. Festi has made some progress. It looks like Kalen just got through and got a new code. Nope, Dr. Festi back to level 16. Kalen has a chance to start catching back up. Now, we've got about 20 minutes left. Remember, first and second are extremely important for this match. Whoever comes in third and fourth will be eliminated, and that means that we can't torture them anymore with our video games. We have to let them live life free of Kusogrand8. And who wants that? Nobody wants that. We want to torture everybody, but, you know.
Yeah, hold on. I'm checking on Kalen here. What's going on with the screen right there? They're not saying anything in chat, so...
Yeah, it's possible that Kalen is just taking a minor mental break right now. She has the password. She has beaten the soldier level. Right. And it looks like the stream went down briefly. Okay.
Oh, I see. Okay, it was a stream problem. Okay. Well, I guess that's on your end if you need to do anything, but no, it looks like we're back in... Okay, we're good. All right. Yeah, so the level... So what I was kind of prophesizing earlier is that somebody could get walled in a level for a while that somebody else could get through very quickly. Oh, so the one with Gil, the Gil level, see, this is the other reason why I'm giving the ball a name, is one where somebody could get through very quickly. I mean, I think all I did was like, just think of a staircase and then place some fans, and then I was through, and like I didn't have to think that hard. So it does not. This is not necessarily going to actually be that difficult. There's just maybe some luck in the physics, I guess, a bit. So we could have a catch up for sure. This is definitely second place is up in the air, even though first is probably set.
We'll have a catch up. It's a tomato joke. Yeah, that's all I've got.
Mm-hmm.
You just say, wow, Omega number. Come on. Appreciate humor. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm concentrating right now on Prazazak's screen too. So it's there's all these things they were trying to keep track of at once now. So yeah, because everyone's on a different level now. It's a lot easier when everyone's on the same level. Now everyone's on a different level, and it's a little messier to.
Oh, you have to hit the button in order to get the thingy to go up. That's a nightmare. Oh, geez. Okay. Very nice. Good timing, because you can't actually place the platform until the sprite is out of the way. You actually have to hover over there until your tomato, Terry, hits the button, opens up the area, and then you can place the platform.
It looks like, hopefully Kalen saw the arrow, because the arrow was in view.
By the way, thank you, Gamer Wolf, for the raid. I gotta shout you out real quick. Many, many thanks. Come and join the fun. We've got tomatoes, not wolves. Apologies. Okay, not really whatever. No apologies. This is Bill. We got Bill. He's a tomato. He does game stuff. That's just Bill for you, you know?
Yeah, no apologies for getting this out. It's a good game. It's okay. We're on the bad games channel, but it's still it's a good bad game as opposed to a bad game. There's a difference, right? Yeah.
Like a game that's flawed but still enjoyable. I dig the music in the game so far. The gameplay seems pretty interesting. Like, it does have some takes on the genre that I haven't seen before. Like having to place platforms while your tomato is moving. Not super common from what I've seen in the past. But it's interesting. Oh no, we've got Super Meat Boy on Kalen's screen.
Do we have anybody else's music? I do think it changes.
I mean, we could try it out. Let me see. I see how it is. You're like, wow, this music's getting boring. Let's go ahead and see what the other levels sounds like. Oh, I kind of dig this. Okay. This is Kalen's music, by the way. I'll go ahead and get that changed over real quick so y'all can hear it.
It looks like also we're gonna see the next set of levels on Sagax's. I think it's doable in 15 minutes, so that's pretty exciting too. You get the next set.
Yeah, let me actually see what their music sounds like as well, because, we've got kind of... Never mind, I guess there is no audio coming through for them. Whatever, too bad. We just get to hear the scary desert music.
Oh, I am, hold on. Somebody's making Bill and Harry's Excellent Adventure references. Okay, yes. No, I see. All right. I suppose so.
We did have Bill and Ted as one of the last games last week. I think it was the last game on Saturday that we had. Corndan gave that out, the Amiga version, actually, and that was quite a bit of fun, despite the problems that it had. Ugh, I do not like the volcano on Maxell's screen. What is this? Ugh.
I think it's supposed to be a tomato volcano, but I don't know for sure.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with volcano here, but I don't like it.
I mean, yeah, you'd think a ketchup tomato in a way is like the most horrifying thing for a tomato, right? You puree the tomato and that's what it makes.
Yeah, if tomatoes could feel. Yeah, that's pretty
Well,
terrifying.
this one can feel.
Right.
I mean, did you see the cutscene, right? He's got a girlfriend. He's trying to rescue. There's feelings going on here.
Okay, let me just tell you. Stupid story. I don't need stupid. Oh no, the girl tomato got kidnapped. Come on, literally every game is that. Legend of Zelda did that. You don't need to do that with a freaking tomato. Oh, that is a good rip tombstone, as Chad is pointing out, and yeah, as soon as it comes down, if you hit the second button there, it makes the tombstone start moving down. So Persaga needs to get Bill to land on the first switch, but not the second switch.
Yeah, like so they mentioned the object of the game. Here we go. Make your way through 10 lands, each with 10 levels, and rescue your sweetheart. That is, if Sammy Squirrel hasn't done away with her and turned her into pizza relish.
Sammy Squirrel?
I mean, you know, you don't normally think of, so like when Bowser kidnaps Peach, Bowser's not trying to like eat her, at least, right?
Maybe he is. Maybe early on, I don't know.
I'm sure there's maybe a Mario Maker level or something that riffs on that, but Peach Chutney.
Ooh. Okay, no, dude. Okay, making chutney out of princesses not allowed on my stream. Not, although it could be tasty. Yeah, Dr. Festi, unfortunately, has been falling very behind. This is a thing when it comes to puzzle games. Sometimes some puzzles just do not work for different people. And there's no shame. That's just how it goes. Yeah, I never feel bad if a level or if a game doesn't seem to work for you. That's just life when it comes to Kusogrand8. The biggest thing is as long as you keep trying and going through it, then you're doing what's needed. Maxell, no! Oh, so close. There is some good insight from chat, by the way, about some of the creativity in this game, that we've got different tomato launching apparatuses, apparati, whatever. Yeah, on every single level, it's a little bit different. Like, Persaga currently has this pipe launching the tomatoes underwater. Yeah, we've got kind of the branch on the desertish level, and then on the toy level, I don't know if it's a trampoline that shoots you over, but, you know, that's... It's nice that, like, the devs were able to create quite a bit of diversity for every single level here. I like it. Oh!
Yeah, I mean, this was... I'm not sure if it's the exact same year, but I think it's roughly when Lemmings 2 happened. Which had its own thing with a whole bunch of different worlds, with a whole bunch of different, like there's the clown world and the space world and so forth. Lemmings 2 is amazing, by the way. I think it's one of the best games ever made. So, you know, the fact that they have these cool ideas at the same time as Lemmings 2 does not surprise me at all. What surprised me is that I hadn't even heard of this game. Like, you know, again, I'm a huge Lemmings fan, and just I found this one just by accident. I wasn't specifically looking for anything, and yeah, it's interesting that this one just kind of got nobody heard of it. So.
Ooh, okay. Maxale just needs to get the timing right in order to sneak down under the swinging block. I actually haven't played Lemmings 2. I was, let's see. Like, I've played the original Lemmings. I don't know about the second one. The original's fantastic.
Yeah, they're all decent until I think we get to like maybe Lemmings Chronicles is when they start going downhill, and then they get like Lemmings 3D, which I think was literally on here once.
Yeah, I've got memories of Lemmings 3D when I was a kid. One of my cousins, who sometimes shows up in chat, actually, he might be here, but it's all because of him that I know about Lemmings 3D, and let me tell you, that was not a good game.
Yeah, I try to remember who gave out. I think I was a little surprised about when it showed up on Kusogrand8, but I was like, oh, okay, I guess it makes sense. Yeah, no, the Lemmings Chronicles was bad though. That game, like, it just gave items that were in the world, and then you put them in the range of the lemmings, and they pick them up. It's not like you arbitrarily pick up a lemming, and I don't know what they were thinking with that, but the game started getting not so good. Lemmings Paintball. I actually haven't played it, Lemmings Paintball. I know it exists. What's the gimmick on Lemmings Paintball?
Probably that you shoot paintballs. I think that's it.
I mean, it seems like thered be more to it. It's a paintball game, but just happens to involve lemmings.
I think it's a first-person shooter, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay.
Wait, chat. Dowolf, you're saying it's overhead tactical? What? An overhead tactical Lemmings paintball game? What the crap?
That does sound pretty awesome. Yeah, no, I know it exists, but I haven't. So see here.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, that's exactly what it. Let me go ahead and post this picture, share it with everybody, because, like, this is what I'm seeing for Lemmings paintball, and it's kind of shocking that, like, this very much looks like a tactics type game. Yeah? What the crap? Okay. Well, there's a game that I'm gonna have to try someday.
What happened with what happened with Precision Nexus one? That's hold on. Oh, I guess it did not get far enough to get at a different level. Okay.
Yeah, you're probably right. Like, it doesn't seem like you necessarily get a password after every single level. I'm not 100% sure. Let me see what the music sounds like for Maxale. Oh my gosh. Scary. Whoa, this crappy. It's spooky music. What the crap? Okay, I'm glad I switched over to this music, because what the crap is this? Yeah, chat, are you as scared as I am of tomatoes? Oh no, the trash man tried to save Maxale, but not quite enough. There we go. This music, it's got me. Oh, I love this. This is so good. Okay, the pumpkins are your friends. Bounce on the scary pumpkins. Yeah, I dig the happy pumpkins as well. They're just here to help. Ooh, unfortunately, because they're moving up and down, it's really difficult to get the timing just right here. And I kind of dig like I dig it. I think that's fun. Not fun for the players, but fun for me because I get to laugh while they try to launch across the pumpkins. Well, for those who are wondering right now, it is Persaga-X in the lead, having made it to the water stages. Mexel is in Scary Land, which puts him in second place. And right now, third place is Kalen, fourth place is Dr. Festi. Dr. Festi unfortunately got walled in the level that you said Omega Number was going to be the wall for some people, and yeah, it definitely is.
I've been trying to diagnose, I've actually been watching Festi's screen, trying to figure out what it is that she's been missing. It looks like the kind of dynamic thing where you place it during the march. I mean, she's been doing it kind of, so I don't know what it is. I'm not sure. Did she discover that late? And she's doing the 2-fan thing, but we saw Maxil was able to pull it off with 2 fans. So I know that's not entirely it. I've been trying to figure that out. I know we often talk about who's in first place, what they're doing, but you know, I'm actually kind of interested in like why does somebody get stuck in a game? That's you know, because I don't want people to get stuck in games. I want people to do well in games. And, you know, what is it that would have made it go better? I guess. Good question.
I mean, getting stuck in games is going to happen. You know, it's you never really know how people are going to do until it comes time for them to do that. And yeah, this game has some difficulty here. It's honestly not the easiest game in the world, and that's fine. One thing that Mexel is trying that I might actually change a little bit is trying to use one of those bouncy platforms as a ceiling instead, so that Bob will just slide into that little tunnel there after you do the bounce.
The one Persaga-X is on is kind of rude on time too. That this is, you have 45 seconds I think to start with. So you don't have, this is one you can definitely die in because of the time issue. And you have to say, it's not like one where it like goes on autopilot once you have it figured out. It's really, you have to manage this fish, which, yep, that was another wrong time to launch. I think this might be perfect, except that actually has to have the exact right launch time to avoid the fish.
Yeah, with that said, there we go. Very nice, Persaga. Yeah, this is an incredible push. Like, honestly, Persaga has just blown everybody out of the water. Honestly, nobody should feel bad about losing to this. This is, like, he did an amazing job. This is much more progress than I think you would have expected to see. Definitely more than I'd expect.
Mm-hmm. I thought maybe somebody would get to these levels. I kind of sad we're not going to get to see the ones after, but that's okay. There's definitely some interesting visual choices made later. You can look it up later if you want to, or I'll drop it in Discord. And yeah, there's some good choices made later. Let's put it that way. But that's okay. I think what we've seen so far has been worth seeing.
Honestly, I would agree. That is time, everybody. Celebrate. Throw your hands up in the air because Bill's Tomato game has reached its end. Actually, not really its end, but we've reached our end in Kusogrand8. And that means that Persaga has taken the victory. Mexel second, Kalen in third, and Dr. Festi fourth. Refs, I'm glad that we were able to make your job easy for once, because this was a very, very easy match to track, just considering how widespread all of the players were. Let me go ahead and message Persaga to see if they would like to join. Actually, yeah, so how do you feel that the players did overall?
Really fantastic. I mean, my personally, I don't even remember where I was. I wasn't really timing very well when I was playing it, but based on it, I thought somebody would get to the water world, but I wasn't able to get to there in 1 hour, so I need more time. So better than me, I guess.
Yeah, I would say that whenever players beat GMs, that's always a good feeling. It means that they've done an excellent job. Our GMs are usually pretty dang good at games as well, but sometimes the players just blow us away, and I love that. So yeah, right now, Persaga X and Maxell are the two who will be moving on from here into round 3 for the group stage. They will still need to come towards first in order to move on to round 4, but still, they're still in it. Okay, right now it looks like we are going to have the player join us, but we are just waiting for them to get everything set up and come over here. I will give them a second. Yeah, Omega Number, in the meantime, what do you think overall about this game? Is this something that you recommend that people try on the Genesis for the prototype? Should they go for the Amiga version?
I would say the Amiga version is probably, especially if you're playing casually, is the better one to do. It does have the condition I said about the fans, where you can't place exactly pixel, and there's certain bits where it actually helps you by that not giving you as much choice. But there's probably some bits also where actually you have a different solution you could do if you could just tweak the fan a little better. So I think Amiga version is probably the way I go if I wasn't racing a Kuso game and I just wanted to enjoy the game.
Yeah. Well, we
also
do.
Really, the mouse is better. Just it is designed more as a mouse game. So
why do I have this song on my playlist? My gosh. Hey, Persaga X. Is that how I say your name?
Persagax, all one smashed together Latin fake word.
Perfect. Okay, fake Latin. My favorite kind of Latin. Good to have you, and congratulations. You honestly had such an amazing push, making it to the water levels. Seriously, I'm surprised. It was an absolute joy to watch. Yeah. So
I have to imagine that the thing that I figured out early on was placing blocks in the middle of a run.
Yes, and that did take some people quite a long time to figure out. Figuring that out early on definitely gave you an advantage, but also I'm trying to think a little bit more intuition for where you need to place things in order to actually get the boost needed to go where you want to go. You did some tricky moves there.
Some of that was pure luck. And a lot of this was spending hundreds of hours as an 8-year-old on what was the name of that game? Is Dr. Incredible's Mean Machine or something like that?
I mean, there's the Incredible Machines. There's
I think it was the Incredible Machine. I think I'm mixing up 2 series. I think it was the Incredible Machine series.
Yeah, the Incredible Machines. There was Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, but yeah, I don't think that's right.
I think I'm mixing them up. It's the one with, you just have bowling balls and conveyor belts and trampolines and all that.
Gotcha. We did talk about that quite a bit, and yeah, any experience with those, I always recommend people try out different genres. We usually don't have an Incredible Machines like in Kusogrand8. I think this is the first time that we have, but experience with that would definitely play to your advantage here. Yeah. So, with that in mind, what do you think of the game as a whole?
If I hadn't noticed the Discord ping, because I actually had my last password up over Discord, I would have just kept playing. I'm actually really enjoying this game.
Yeah, I think that this is genuinely enjoyable. It didn't come out on Genesis, I'm not sure why. We really didn't have a solid answer why this never actually got a release. It was on Amiga, though, and the mouse controls would probably help a bit.
Yeah, I feel like this was 2 or 3 good QC passes before it would be an amazing puzzle game. the weird like kind of having to place blocks in the middle of a run is kind of like counterintuitive to what the game sets up at the beginning.
Yeah, I
so it
definitely
like
agree
cheese,
with
but there's
that.
levels where it's absolutely necessary.
Yeah, for sure. Like it doesn't quite feel right, and I do think that like I'm glad that this prototype exists. I'm a little bit sad that it never actually got finished because it could have been a pretty great game, or at least a pretty decent release for people who were playing Genesis games at that time, you know? With that said, was there any like big flaw of the game? Like, obviously the confusion about placing things mid-run was a bit frustrating for people. Were there any other issues with the game, or was it relatively solid?
It was relatively solid. This is probably harder to pick up on watching it than it was playing it. The physics are not consistent.
Okay, in what way?
There are some times where hitting a trampoline will reduce your speed, sometimes where it won't, and you haven't changed the placement or anything of any of the things. It's just sometimes 1 out of 10 times it slows you down just a little too much. There was the level with the 2 buttons where like the first one opens the door, the second one closes it. I had that a couple times in that where one of the times I got a big bounce off of the button when I was pretty sure I had correct placements, and I hadn't gotten a bounce off of the button before. And then the time that I got it, I think I got the physics error in my favor, and I got kind of a speed boost off of the last trampoline.
Yeah, I noticed that. It was a little bit odd how that specific trampoline worked, or how the buttons worked. But at the same time, one strategy that's actually valid for this is essentially you go and you set up, you hit the button first and then you set everything else up so that you don't even have to deal with the buttons. Absolutely doable, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that the level state just stays regardless.
Yeah.
Something I only noticed in like the second to last level that I got through there, where I was blowing up the mine and then going through where the blown up mine was to get to the end, and I think that is the intended strat.
Yeah, it's interesting, but it does give you so many like tomatoes that you can use. The timer was a little bit frustrating for people. I have some mixed feelings about it. I feel like a puzzle game with a timer is usually dumb, but at the same time, removing all the pieces so that you have to start from scratch is actually kind of helpful. Yeah.
It is and it isn't. There were like 1 or 2 levels where I just was 1 block placement in the right spot away from getting it there, and it was like a 30-second timer on the level. I was kind of losing it on that.
Yeah, like fast puzzle solving. I don't know what you were thinking, but they thought something about it.
And it was inconsistent. Some levels you'd get 60 seconds, some levels you get a full 3 to 5 minutes, and it didn't seem like there was any real reason why they went from one to the other.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, I think...
there's like
oh,
one
go
or two
ahead.
solid QC passes from being like an absolute rock star of a game.
I'd agree with that. Well, it is on Kusogrand8 here, you know, and sometimes we have flawed games that are overall enjoyable, but, you know, just have a few issues. And considering that, you know, this was for a group with 2 people eliminated, I personally feel like it was an appropriate place to have it. I honestly am tempted to go try this game myself. It seems pretty interesting.
If it looked at all fun to you, I recommend it. Because, like, I wasn't sure when I saw the pings if I had gone a minute over or 10 minutes over, because I was just kind of locked in on the game.
Yeah. Well, are you doing any
clock watching to be done with it?
Are you doing anything on stream that people should know about? We do need to move on to the next game, so I just want to check. Yeah, anything you need to plug?
I actually rarely stream under this name, but I regularly stream with a friend of mine under Haunted Dolls, all one word. We stream a couple times a week, just playing variety games. Check us out. We're fun.
Okay, twitch.tv/haunted dolls. Feel free to
Correct.
share that in Twitch if you would like. Well, thank you so much. We'll see you next time, and congratulations on taking your victory for round 2.
Excellent. Thank you.
Take
Have
care.
a good Kuso.
Heck yeah. All right, see ya.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, well, I am going to go ahead and run to a commercial. So, everybody, I will be right back. Got to stand up, use the restroom. Feel free to go grab some water, everybody. We'll be back.